And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. 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 I I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about you.
Is the first album that was completely written by all four of us as this core lineup here. So from a perspective of songwriting, completely sort of goes a different direction. It's still in the drive-by Bukkake wheelhouse, if you will. It's not too far off, but instead of me and John just writing the songs, we've got those two extra members who are throwing in their ingredients into the recipe. And so short songs, we still got death, thrash, grind, all those elements that you want to hear, all the stupid samples, all the bass bombs that are unnecessary but very necessary. All that shit, all that stuff that you expect from us is still there, but the songwriting is just 4 people instead of 2 now. It takes some training. It's kind of yeah, you are right. There's only a certain range that I like to stay in, and it's purely. I've tried to go lows and I've tried to go really high, and you just know your limits. You just know what you can pull off and what you're trying to pull off and can't quite do. You can't even fix with studio magic. So I stick in that sort of mid high kind of range for kind of thrashy yelling. It's almost gremlin like. It's just I wish I could, I've heard a couple of other bands that are sort of in this range. One band comes to mind is a band called Warbringer, and they've put out a bunch of cool albums. I love the production on those albums that they've done. Vocally, though, that's kind of in that same range. And our the backup guitarist here, John, who's been in the band right from the start with me here. He you'll hear on Bastards of Slime, and you'll hear live, he does the complete opposite range. He's filling that gap. He's throwing those we call them gorps, but they're just like, there's not like brutal gutturals, but he's just doing this like sort of hardcore, really angry sort of low yell in the background for a lot of these parts. And it's a nice little balance between the highs that I can sort of do and John's hardcore yells in the back. It's good shit. Aha! So we can start the whole damn thing over.
Okay, so now they can hear me, I do believe. Let me just see that real quick. Like machine head kind of sound. Oh, could you hear them?
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking like the YouTube live channel, I just checked that out. It seems to be working, but
Oh, okay. Because I just checked.
maybe somebody in the chat will correct me. I don't know.
Let me see here. I'm gonna have an echo now if that's the case.
Yeah, probably, and I'm sure people love us figuring out technical issues on an interview.
Okay, so can you hear me now, Kevin? Why am I? Okay, now he hears me. All right. So they hear you. They didn't hear me. That so
Ah,
okay. All right, Stu can hear both now. All right, lol, awesome. We're good to go. All right, so if you guys could hear him, he was answering a kind of a question, kind of not really a question, but more of a statement about vocals. And before that was a question about where the new album, Bastards of Slime, stands in comparison and what kind of improvements they've made as musicians to their music to create this new album. And I know you guys couldn't hear me before, so I'm going to say it out now. Guys, welcome to the stream. Brian from Drive By Bukkake. He is their vocalist and somebody you guys should really be paying attention to.
again, man, appreciate that. The second introduction here, it's all good. You know, when you're dealing with Zoom, you're dealing with YouTube and trying to get those streams together. I totally get it. It's all good.
You know, I've been in it for 4 years. You'd think I'd have already learned how to do this shit by now, but no, of course. I've always got issues. Um, so let's see. Couple of kind of personal questions, musically related, but um, inspirations in your musical style. Uh, who would you say are your maybe top three biggest influencers?
That's a great question. You know, we're obviously with a band named Drive By Bukkake, and the kind of the image and the kind of thing we're putting out there is a lot of comedy, a lot of fun shit.
Yeah.
There's if there's like three bands that I could think of would probably be Andrew WK, which
Yeah.
is he's all about positivity, all about fun. And I'm not saying all of our songs are like on the Andrew WK sort of style with positivity and trying to put out a great message, but it's that the fun aspect, especially for our live shows. If we're gonna, you know, if we're playing some bar somewhere or playing a venue, and if we see half the crowd laughing at our samples and kind of just smiling versus, you know, throwing down and kicking people and have moshing and all that. Sometimes I prefer to see that laughter, to see that people having a good time and just like smiling and laughing at us versus throwing down. So that positivity, kind of happiness, that's the NGWK influence in us for I would speak to at least. Suffocation. We played with those guys back in June. I've known them for probably about a decade now. We've crossed paths many times, and great dudes. And the death metal from Suffocation, they're the godfathers of that genre, really. And some of the heavy elements, our drummer's a huge Suffocation guy as well. So I think a lot of that songwriting from Suffo, he definitely throws into his drumming. So then a third band, though, that's a good question. Who do you what do you think a third band that's kind of along the lines of us? Can you think of a third?
Kind of along the lines of you guys. Very different vocals. Very different vocals. But somebody I kind of listen to at the same time as I listen to you guys. Like, obviously not immediately at the same time. I can't listen to two songs at once. But in the same area of time, frame of time, I'll listen to Blood for Blood, maybe.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that adds up.
You know, kind of another Boston hardcore throwback back in the day. Um, did you guys
Yeah.
ever play or hear of a band named Apollo's Resurrection?
No, and I don't want to ruin your story, but no, I can't say that I did, but fill me in. I remember you mentioning this before, but
Yeah. It was a buddies of mine band out of Lynn for a while. They've broken and separated, gone their different ways to other bands now, but um, they were a band. They made an LP and it was really good. It was more of the same kind of Boston thrash metal. Um, really good vocals on that one as well. That was my buddy Aaron. Um, but we've all, me and them alike, I kind of surrounded myself growing up with the local hardcore scene. Um, when I remember being into it when I was like 16, and I'm going to be 41. I was into it when I was like 16, 17 years old, going to the Salem Elks Club and watching. You know what I'm talking about already? You know what I'm talking about. The Salem Elks Club. Every Friday and Saturday nights, they always had hardcore shows. That was the first place I ever saw Madwhack or Straight Jacket. Um, two very, very good bands that are no longer with us. But I can't tell you. Music for me has been life. It's been an outlet for me. It's been inspiring. My musical taste definitely reflects my mood and my emotions that I'm feeling. And so you guys have really harnessed the kind of chaotic side of me. And so when I'm feeling like really up and happy and like go get them, want to cause some trouble, that's the kind of shit that I listen to. So, um, Kevin says kind of reminds me of Revocation with some comedy and bass drops.
Hey,
Yeah, okay.
you nailed it. The revocation guys, they've been they're absolutely killing it. I've many good times with those homies, and in many different states, and I could see that kind of tie-in, that New England tie-in for revocation and us, and
Right.
uh, that appreciate those words, Kevin.
Absolutely.
You said that was Kevin, right? Yeah,
Yep, Kevin. Yep. He also wants to know how much music theory do you guys actually use to build song structures? I don't know how much you guys use, and I'll let you answer that question in a second. But I know from what I've learned, who I've talked to, interviews that I've heard and listened to and seen, there aren't a lot of guitarists out there that use a whole lot of guitar theory. A lot of them are self-taught, you know. For example, Avenged Sevenfold, Sinister Gates. He didn't have a lesson. He pretty much taught himself how to play guitar. And he said it himself. He really doesn't know or use music theory at all.
boy, as a vocalist, this question should just go one ear out the other because my job is just to yell and shit. But I know where the question's coming from a song theory, and correct me if I'm wrong. I could speak to the songwriting structure. If you go to Crucial Loads, if you've heard that album, a lot of the songs are written by myself and John. And then, Greg and Tim, of course, threw in all their shit and really, really helped out with that record. The songs that I've wrote the foundation for, I have a basic structure. Your pre-chorus, your bridge, chorus, another bridge, all the basic songwriting elements that have been in songs for hundreds of years, I'm sure. And that's the structure that I'm used to doing. But for this new Bastards of Slime album that just came out on the 8th, I didn't actually have those elements added to those songs. Once it wasn't just me doing the songwriting structure, once we had John, Greg, and Tim involved more in the writing, I'm not saying they completely didn't have those structures, but it wasn't the focus point. Right. Usually I would, when I'm writing those old songs, I'd have a board out pretty much with all the stuff you would need to build a basic song. In this case, I think it was more of a riff party. John's coming up with nasty riffs. Greg and Tim are coming up with nasty parts to fill in those riffs, and they're kind of just sandwiching those parts together to make a song versus, in other words, it was more of a creative process versus looking at a linear structure of building a song, if right. That makes any sense. And again, I'm a vocalist, so I really don't know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. You can kind of hear in the music of Crucial Loads kind of the chaos that ensues musically. You've got a lot going on as far as guitars, bass, drums. You've got a lot going on. So you can kind of hear that chaos, but it blends together in such a way that it forms just this song that's not like others. And the fact that you guys use the samples you do is phenomenal. I just absolutely love it. As I stated, the music intro, that was Joe Pesci's Cum Dumpster, guys, by Drive by Bukkake. If you are interested, go listen to that on Spotify, correct? They do have that on Spotify?
Yeah, any sort of streaming site you name the one you're
streaming
using.
platform. Okay. So, guys, if you do get the opportunity, definitely go check out Drive by Bukkake and Joe Pesci's Cum Dumpster. But that whole, I'm a particularly explosive ejaculate, it just, fuck, that sample, man, gets me every time. I have to play that for everyone that has never heard it before. I'm like, dude, you need to listen to this right now.
It's that laughter, man. You just you're so often that you're listening to metal albums and there's usually a cause or a meaning, or it's angry and it's just a one thing. It's one structure more or less. And to be able to just hear a track and it's heavy and it's fast and maybe you can sing along to it, maybe you can air drum to it, and then a random funny sample gets dropped and it throws you off. You don't know what to expect. Sort of like a drive-by.
You don't know what to expect, sort of like when I first heard the reason I actually came across your band is my brother. I actually recently found him. He was from my father's side, and I never knew him until I was like 31.
Right on.
But anyways, I met him, and him and I got along really well, and we started talking music. He's like, "Oh yeah, this." He's autistic too. He was 18 at the time. He was autistic, and he's like, "I found this really awesome band you should really listen to." I was like, "Oh yeah, who's that?" He goes, "Drive By Bukkake." I laughed my ass off. I was like, "What did you just say?" He says, "Drive By Bukkake." I was like, "All right, you know what? I'm with a name like that, I've got to check it out." And so I did, and then I loved the album so much. I started briefly before that. I started collecting vinyl records, and that's how I have Crucial Loads is on vinyl, and I'm like, oh, this is on. It's all on. So, but I know we're getting time for you to split out of here.
Hey Chris, you can tack on another 5 minutes, or go to 4:05 if you can. I can do that actually. I'm looking at my calendar now. I know you lost some technical difficulty there, so we can add another 5. That's fine.
Well, thank you very much, man. I appreciate the generosity for your time. Guys, if you do have any questions in chat for Brian, please put them down there. Let us ask them. And so we've asked you about your inspirations. Where did you, when did you first have the feeling that music was the direction you wanted to go?
Great. That probably goes back into the early 2000s. Growing up in Massachusetts here, high school, you hear a lot of friends, they got their own bands going on, a lot of hardcore bands, a lot of metal bands, old school bands, not old school Lowell, Massachusetts area bands. You got the Summoned. You have they used to be called Of the Betrayed at the time. We have Aetherius, who turned into the Dead Station. I could start listing tons of local friends bands: Hive Smasher, Dysentery.
Oh, Dysentery, yes.
Yeah, great bands, great dudes. And I know I've only listed about 5 or 6 local bands, and there's probably like 50 of them, and they're going to be giving me shit for not mentioning their names. So there was I don't know, like a Massachusetts sort of area scene in the early 2000s. Everyone was doing these projects, and you get a little jealous. You get a little like, hey, all right, they're doing something sweet. They're doing something sweet, putting out sweet records, playing shows, hitting the road. And I'm a kind of a take charge, and just like, hey, why don't I just do that? So immediately came up with this joke comedy project called Drive By Bukkake. Started writing the songs myself. And then from there, we were able to build a lineup. I passed those songs on to John Aubrey, who's been the guitarist since day one. We added Sam Hang, who was an amazing drummer from the band The Summit. He also did double duty for both projects for a very long time, and that means the world to us. He's a dude who picked up drumming probably in senior year of high school, and then within 2 to 3 years, he was probably one of the most progressive drummers I've seen. It's an amazing speed and technicality. He was way too good for our project, long story short. We're all 4/4 drumming, basic shit. And he was a very technical drummer. So we love Sam, and he's a great dad. And all right, yeah. So from there, once Sam was going to become a dad, we eventually needed to fill his slot. We filled it in with Greg Murphy. Tim Brault, who's our bass player. He also drums. He's a drummer for Hive Smasher, Los Bungalitos, a bunch of other local bands. I'm probably just rambling on, but what I'm getting at is all of these local bands who are friends, really. You just see them at parties. They have bands. It kind of led me to say, hey, you know what? That sounds pretty fucking sweet. I want to do that too.
Absolutely. Ricky
Yeah.
Rods, what's going on, buddy? Kevin wants to know, what are some of your favorite drinks slash substances for getting those vocal cords ready to growl?
Ah, yes, yes. All right. So, I'm definitely, I'll drink Chardonnay all day. You know, I love, I'm a wine man. I love, I'm not a fancy wine guy, but I do like to drink Chardonnay. Um, Mezcal. I'll definitely drink some mezcal, margaritas, of course. But for the actual like recording studio, straight up all day long, I probably was just drinking wine, drinking mezcal, drinking whatever. And then when it came near the time to start tracking vocals, which is probably like 2:30 in the morning, you switch to a tea, just a hot tea with honey.
Okay.
Throw that in the microwave because you're at a studio and you don't have the luxury of having a gas oven or anything. So throw a little water and tea in the microwave, get those vocals going. But you know, I'm not a professionally trained vocalist, and there's so much advice and so many videos out there that tell you how to get that really raspy voice. The only thing that I could tell that I do is the old saying is save for air. If you've ever had a radio show or a podcast, you save it for the air. In other words, a lot of vocalists that I know will warm up in their car for a half hour or an hour, just warming up their vocals, and that's probably the proper technique. But if they're in their car and if they hurt their throat for whatever reason, let's just say they're practicing a note and they hurt their throat in the car, you're screwed in the studio. You won't be able to record, and you got to postpone that. So I don't do a lot of warm ups. I literally go right from drinking tea to immediately recording, because if I get a good take, just happens to be a great take, get it recorded and let's move on instead of maybe throwing your voice out in the parking lot.
Absolutely, I agree with you. It's I keep coming back to this band, or this will be the second time I've come back to this band, but Avenged Sevenfold, one of my favorites. Matt Shadows, M Shadows, actually had that kind of issue happen with his vocal cords, where he screamed so much and outside of his range that it really destroyed those. He needed surgery. He can't scream like he used to anymore. He has to really tone that down. And so, yeah, that can really fuck up your vocal cords
No
by
doubt.
performing outside of your range and by using them unnecessarily, I guess is one way I want to say that.
That's a good way to put it. It's just you know, just saving it for when exactly the important stuff, whether it's doing a show. You know, I'm not going to throw my vocals out and, you know, outside the venue warming up. And again, there's probably a bunch of vocalists listening right now. Like, you're an idiot. You need to be warming up your vocals. I get that. That advice is right. But I've just never. I'm not going to practice what I preach, I guess, or I'm going to practice what I preach. In other words, I don't warm up, and that's the result I get. You know.
Okay. Kevin says he's really liking the Bastards of Slime right now. He says his band is in the middle of writing an EP at the moment, so he figured he'd see if it was important to process or if it was more jamming and riffing. And from the sounds of it, it's more of a jamming riffing than a music theory kind of process.
The new album, yes, was more of a more of the creative riffing, putting riffs together, putting certain parts together to make a song, versus the actual pre-chorus, bridge, chorus structure, stuff like that. So yeah, Bastards of Slime is a little bit more chaotic in that regard, which is good, something different.
Okay. Ern says there's a band named Graf Orlock that plays cinemacore. All their songs are about movies, and they have samples in each song. Check them out. Okay. I'll have to check
Where are
out.
they based out of? I think I've heard that.
Graf
heard that name.
Orlock, it sounds like it's more of a Swedish name, but it could be anywhere, because I know that even American bands have Swedish names.
Yeah, you know, we're not definitely aren't the first band or the last to drop a bunch of samples throughout. A lot of death metal bands will. Here's kind of the slight difference. A lot of death metal bands will open up their song with probably some horror movie sample. It's like 45 seconds long. You can't really hear it live. You recognize the movie and you're like, oh yeah, I recognize that. And then they'll play the song and that's it. The tough part about us is having the samples throughout the songs. Yes. When you're playing live, you do 30 seconds, 45 seconds of riffing, and then to jump into a sample mid-song. Not a lot of bands that I've seen have done that. Kill Whitney Dead's a great example of a band that's done that. They really killed that concept, did an awesome job with it. Another influence band, I would say, for us. And I'm sure that Mortician nails that definitely, no doubt kind of throughout. But yeah, we always have fun with those samples.
Absolutely. And one that I can remember off the top of my head, I believe the movie was The Rock. And it was, the one I'm talking about too. That's awesome.
I was it Losers. Losers whine about the best. Winners go
Yes,
home and
losers whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. That was the funniest one. Well, no, not the funniest one because you guys have had so many funny ones.
That's one of our favorite drops. It's a great one.
Absolutely. Kevin K just wants to know real quick before we peace out of here. Do you ever just fuck around and make crazy sounds and put them in samples?
Sounds. I guess I would need more of a description. You mean just like just random effects within like software kind of thing?
Maybe effects within like musical instruments or your vocals, just making kind
Yeah.
of funky stuff.
I can kind of lead to a story, but I can't say that I've done that. But the opening track on the new album Bastards of Slime, which is everywhere on dbbthrash.com and all that, opening track, you're gonna notice I'm not on it. The opening track is it's an intro called Disaster Strikes, and I am not the vocalist on this track. The other members that are on this track are our drummer Greg Murphy, who's doing those really high falsettos, almost King Diamond like.
Oh wow!
Tim Brault is the bass player, and our engineer who helped track this entire album is the drummer of Atheist. That's Anthony, or Apollo he's going by now. Great dude, great engineer. He gave us 5 days of his time nonstop in the studio to put this album together in Western Mass. And the opening track, it's not really funny samples, but it was a part where we decided, you know what, the opening track should not have the lead vocalist at all. Let's give let's give the only drummers in New England, which was Tim, Greg, and Anthony. I know there's others, but they've been in so many bands now. Tim, Greg, and Anthony, the drummers, are the only vocalists doing the vocals on the opening track of the new album. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I love that. I love the fact that you guys do the unusual. You guys take it and do something that nobody's done before. Like that's just innovative at its core, and it's amazing to see a band progress through their career the way that you guys are right now. I'm not going to hold you up any longer. It is 4:06. So, Brian, thank you so very much for your time today. I appreciate all the info and education as to the new album and where you're at with this new album. Why don't you go ahead real quick, just promote the hell out of everything you have.
I got to get my shit in. Okay, man. I appreciate you, Chris, letting us be here on Lethal Coils today. dbbthrash.com. That is our main website. That has our merch store. You can get our brand new CD, Bastards of Slime, tons of T-shirts. We've even got options if you buy shirts on the website, you can have it delivered to our merch table at a show. So if you see a shirt you like and you don't want to pay for shipping, you can pay on our website and literally pick up at any show that we're playing. We'll have that inventory saved for you. So a little something different at least. So, save a couple of bucks. DBB Thrash on everything, Instagram, all that stuff. We're on Bandcamp, Spotify. If there's a streaming platform, there's a good chance our new album, Bastards of Slime, is on it. And again, definitely appreciate the opportunity shooting the breeze with you, Chris, and everybody that's watching on the channel today. Again, thanks for supporting this show and supporting Drive By Bukkake.
Big love, man. Thank you so much again. It's my pleasure to have you guys here, or well, you here, anyways. But real quick before you finish your everythings, do you guys have any shows coming up? Where and when?
That's where I can get a cheap plug-in. I'm wearing a hat. This is RPM Fest. That is in Western Massachusetts. September 2nd through the 4th is an entire weekend of metal, thrash, grind, rock bands. It's an entire camping weekend. In Montauk, Massachusetts, at the Miller's Falls Rod and Gun Club, I think it's called. You can just search for RPM Fest. You'll see ads everywhere for it. But we're going to be doing a set one of those nights, and we're going to be there the entire entire weekend actually, just drinking, smoking, and having a good time. So
I'm gonna have to be there and join you guys.
Yeah,
it's got to happen, bro.
Labor Day weekend, September 2nd to the 4th in Western Mass. It's in the boonies. It's nice and pretty cool community out there. So you should definitely come out.
Hell yeah, I'm down. So yeah, for sure, I'm gonna have to make it to there. Kevin K, thank you for opening my ears to Drive By Bukkake. You are more than welcome, my friend. Brian, my friend, it has been a great half hour with you, picking your brain about all this stuff. Thank you so much, from
Chris,
my heart. It really means a lot to me being so invested in the music industry and the community surrounding Boston. So thank you again for everything you do. Guys in chat, thank you guys so much for being here and sharing some time with me and Brian and learning a little bit more about the band. Maybe it'll help you guys to get a little bit more into a different genre of music than you may typically be into, but great music, great samples. The vocals are on point, and I think you guys are really going to like it. So go ahead and check out Drive By Bukkake on every music streaming platform out there. And stop by dbbthrash.com. Pick up a CD if they can. You know, help out the band. If you like them, you like their music, grab the new album. Anyways, that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. Thank you so very much, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Till then, deuces.
cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Oh.
And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head open again. Cause I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about you.